The twin moons of Aurelia Prime glowed across the Royal Observatory as Princess Serena stared into the star-filled sky. Her heart thumped fast, but not from fear, from the unknown pulse burning faintly under her skin. It was happening. Every Varelian was born with a soul-link crystal embedded near the wrist, glowing only once in a lifetime, to signal the awakening of one's destined soulmate. For most, it was a beautiful moment. For Serena, it was terrifying, because when her crystal finally flared to life that night, the royal sensors detected something unthinkable. The signal didn't come from another Varelian. It came from Earth, from a human. The palace fell into chaos. Advisors gasped. The high priest declared it an anomaly and urged her to ignore it. But the crystal pulsed again, stronger, like it was calling her name. Serena's mother, Queen Nalira, forbade any further investigation. A human, she said coldly. They are primitive, emotional, chaotic. You will not disgrace the crown by chasing this madness. But Serena couldn't sleep. The crystal's light danced against her skin, warming her heart, whispering emotions that weren't her own. Fear, wonder, and kindness. Somewhere across galaxies, a human was feeling the same pull. That human was Eli Carter, an engineer aboard a damaged exploration ship orbiting the outer rim. When his wrist suddenly burned with blue fire, he panicked. His shipmates thought it was radiation poisoning, but then a voice echoed faintly in his mind. "Who are you?" Eli froze. The voice was soft, melodic, alien, yet filled with emotion. He didn't know how to respond. "Who's there?" he whispered aloud. The voice replied, trembling. "My name is Serena. You're not Varelian. What are you?" And with that moment, the invisible link between them deepened. Both could feel fragments of each other's emotions, her fear, his curiosity, her loneliness, his quiet courage. But back on Varelia, the Royal Council already declared the incident dangerous. If the princess's soulmate truly was human, it meant a cross-species resonance. Something scientists said was impossible. Some saw it as destiny. Others saw it as treason. Serena was ordered to suppress the link and undergo soul dampening. But the thought of losing that strange, kind voice made her chest ache. "If I break the link," she whispered, "a part of me dies too." That night, while the guards stood watch, she secretly activated her personal starship, the Luma's Grace. The signal coordinates blinked on the screen, pointing to a distant blue planet. As she launched into the night sky, she felt Eli's heartbeat in her mind. Fast, uncertain, human. He, too, was staring at the stars, unaware that his destiny was hurtling toward him at light speed. The human and the alien princess, two souls born under different suns, had just taken their first steps toward each other, and neither of them knew that both their worlds would soon be from the alien princess stunned as her soulmate signal activated. And it was a human. The Luma's grace shimmered through the emptiness of deep space, engines glowing faintly blue. Inside, Princess Serena sat at the command deck, trembling. Her crystal still pulsed gently, like a heartbeat guiding her through the stars. She had defied her mother, abandoned her royal guards, and crossed the forbidden border of Varelian space, all for a stranger whose soul called to hers. Her navigation AI beeped softly. Gravitational signature detected. Planet Earth. Serena took a deep breath. Her first look at the human world filled her with awe. It wasn't as the council described, dirty, primitive, chaotic. It was alive. Blue oceans, green lands, glowing cities beneath clouds. Beautiful in its own way. But as she approached, her ship's energy signature triggered a defense alert. Human satellites picked her up immediately. Within minutes, 3 Earth defense drones were sent to investigate the unidentified craft. Down below, Eli Carter was still inside his damaged exploration vessel, patching the final oxygen conduit. Suddenly, the ship's AI blared. Incoming object, unknown origin, trajectory approaching rapidly. Eli's heart raced. It's coming here? Before he could respond, the alien craft slowed and hovered above the ruined orbiting station. Its silver hull reflected sunlight like a mirror. The air shimmered as a soft, radiant figure descended from the ship. Serena herself, her form surrounded by faint golden light. Eli stumbled back, eyes wide. No way. She landed lightly, her eyes glowing with an inner blue hue. Her armor shimmered with crystal veins. But when her gaze met his, human brown against alien gold, something electric surged through the air. The crystal on her wrist flared to life again. So did his. The same pulse, the same rhythm. Too heart-sinking. Sarina's voice trembled. You're the one. Eli was speechless. He'd seen strange things during his missions. Nebulous storms, black holes, but never something that made his soul respond. You're real, he said quietly. You're the voice in my head. The connection deepened. For the first time, they both saw flashes of memory. Her childhood on a glowing palace terrace, his lonely nights under Earth starlight. Two lives intertwined by something beyond logic. But the moment didn't last long. Warning sirens echoed across the deck. Earth's patrol craft had arrived. Unidentified entity. A human voice commanded through the speaker. Stand down and identify yourself. Sarina turned, panic in her eyes. They think I'm a threat. Stay behind me, Eli said instinctively. He stepped forward, raising his hands toward the drone camera. Wait, don't shoot. He didn't know why he did it. The rational part of him screamed that this was madness, but something in his heart wouldn't let harm come to her. The drones paused, scanning. For a moment, the tension was unbearable. Then, a warning shot seared through the air, missing them by inches. Sarina reacted instantly. With a flick of her wrist, a shimmering energy shield expanded, deflecting the beam and casting a brilliant light. The drones reeled, overloaded by the unknown energy. One spiraled out of orbit, the others retreated. The sky fell silent again. Eli stared at her, speechless. You just saved us, he whispered. Sarina smiled faintly. No, we saved each other. But far above them, deep in Varelian space, royal interceptors were already tracking the stolen signature of the Luma's grace. The queen had discovered her daughter's betrayal, and she had sent hunters. The night over Earth's orbit had gone quiet. The stars shimmered like diamonds across the void, but Eli Carter couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were watching from beyond them. The encounter with the drones had ended, but a deep unease crawled under his skin. Inside the damaged exploration vessel, Sarina sat near a viewport, staring out at the blue planet below. It's beautiful, she whispered. So full of life, so loud yet peaceful. Eli gave a small smile. It's home. Sometimes messy, but worth fighting for. Her golden eyes softened. Worth fighting for. The phrase felt strange on her tongue. On Varelia, everything was calculated. Fought for order, not emotion. But humans, they fought because they cared. Before Eli could reply, an alarm suddenly blared. Incoming vessels detected. The ship's AI announced. Unidentified configuration. Velocity extreme. Sarina froze. No, that's them. Eli turned sharply. Them? The royal hunters, she said, voice trembling. My mother must have sent them. They'll take me back and destroy anyone who stands in their way. 3 dark ships emerged from hyperspace, sleek and sharp, glowing with blue ion fire. The Varelian pursuit fleet. Eli's pulse spiked. Can we hide? Not from them, she whispered. They can track my crystal signal. Then we cut the signal. Sarina's eyes widened. If I do that, I'll lose the link to you. He hesitated. The air was thick with tension. If it keeps you safe, it's worth it. She looked at him, really looked at him, his messy hair, tired eyes, and the strange human courage that didn't make sense to her royal upbringing. No other species would ever risk death for someone they just met. But humans didn't follow logic. They followed heart. Before she could decide, the comms crackled to life. A cold female voice spoke in Varelian. Princess Sarina of House Delira, this is Commander Velrix. Power down your engines and surrender the human. You have disobeyed your queen. Do not resist. Eli frowned. What did she say? Sarina took a deep breath. She said, surrender you. He blinked. Surrender me? What did I do? Your existence, she said quietly, is what they fear. Outside, The lead ship charged its plasma cannons. Light flared. Sarai stood tall, her eyes glowing fiercely. They won't stop. Eli's hands flew over control board. Then neither will I. Eli, no. You can't fight them. Watch me. The humans slammed the manual override, rerouting all power to thrusters. The ship roared to life, shaking violently. The hunters fired. Plasma beams sliced across the hull, melting metal, but Eli twisted the controls, dodging through the chaos. His heart pounded. Adrenaline burned through him. Hold on, he shouted. Sarai clung to the console, eyes wide. How are you doing this? Eli grinned despite the fire in his chest. Guess humans don't like being told to surrender. A blast tore through the rear engine. The ship spun uncontrollably before stabilizing near Earth's upper atmosphere. Warning lights flashed red across the cabin. Sarai closed her eyes and placed her hands over the crystal on her wrist. I can cloak us for a few seconds, but it will drain me. Do it. A bright wave of golden light expanded outward, swallowing the ship. The alien hunters lost visual contact and flew past them, searching. For the moment, they were safe, hovering just above the clouds. Eli exhaled hard, his arms trembling from exhaustion. You okay? She nodded weakly. You risked your life for me. Yeah, well, he said, smiling faintly. You're my first alien soulmate. I'm not letting you get dragged away. Sarai looked at him with quiet awe. Humans, you fight for what you love, even when it hurts. Eli met her gaze. That's what makes us human. But deep in the void, the Varelian fleet regrouped, and their leader, Commander Velrix, contacted the Queen. Your Majesty, we've located the anomaly. The human fights like one of us. Orders. Queen Thalira's eyes narrowed. Bring them both to me alive. The hunt was far from over. From the Alien Princess stunned as her soulmate signal activated, and it was a human. The silence after battle was thick, broken only by the hum of damaged engines and the faint rhythm of two hearts beating in sync. Eli Carter sat on the floor beside the control deck, his breathing heavy. The ship was running on emergency power. Smoke curled through the cabin. Across from him, Princess Zynara tried to steady her trembling hands. Her energy was almost gone. The soul crystal on her wrist had dimmed to a pale blue. She had used nearly everything to shield them. We need to land, Eli said, scanning the cracked monitors. Somewhere safe, somewhere they won't find us. Sarai nodded weakly. There's a place below the humans call a desert? He smiled tiredly. Plenty of space. Let's pray your mother doesn't like sand. The Luma's grace descended slowly through the clouds, flames licking its sides as it entered the atmosphere. Below, the red sands of Nevada stretched endlessly, a wasteland of wind and stone. The ship crashed hard, skidding across dunes before stopping beside a jagged canyon. When the dust settled, Eli pulled Sarai from the wreckage. She coughed, her golden eyes flickering open. Are we alive? Barely, he said, trying to grin. Welcome to Earth. For a few quiet moments, there was peace. The stars glimmered overhead, the desert air cool and still. Eli built a small fire from broken wiring. Sarai sat near it, watching the flames with wonder. Fire without plasma, she murmured. Primitive but beautiful. Eli laughed softly. It's called survival. Their eyes met again, and for the first time, there was no fear, no confusion. Only a silent understanding that something powerful bound them together. But that peace didn't last. A low rumble echoed in the distance. The night sky split open as a Varelian dropship descended, cloaked in black mist. Sarayna's heart stopped. They found us. Eli stood, gripping a steel pipe like a weapon. Let them come. Before he could act, beams of blue light surrounded them. Energy cuffs snapped around their wrists. The air shimmered, and a figure emerged from the light. Commander Velrix, tall, cold, and covered in polished armor that reflected the firelight. Her voice was calm but deadly. Princess Zynara, by order of Queen Thalira, you are under arrest for treason and cross-species contamination. Eli stepped forward, furious. She's done nothing wrong. Velrix's helmet turned toward him. And you must be the human who triggered the bond. Curious. Your kind was never meant to resonate with Varelian souls. Guess I didn't get the memo, he shot back. Without warning, Velrix raised her hand, a blast of energy striking the ground near his feet. Your defiance is amusing, but unnecessary. Zynara struggled against restraints. Don't hurt him. The bond. If you harm him, it will harm me too. Velrix hesitated, glancing at the crystal on the princess's wrist. Explain. Zynara's voice broke. The soulmate bond isn't just emotional. It's biological. Once activated, it links our neural and cardiac patterns. If one of us dies, the other follows. The soldiers froze. Even Velrix's expression hardened. Impossible. Eli's eyes widened. So if they kill me, you die too, Zynara whispered. And maybe worse, the energy imbalance could spread through the Varelian network. It could destroy both species. A heavy silence fell. Even the wind seemed to stop. Velrix lowered her weapon. So this is the Queen's daughter's legacy, a threat to her empire. Zynara's voice steadied. Not a threat, a bridge. She turned toward Eli. He didn't choose this. Neither did I. But maybe this bond means something bigger than fear. Velrix's eyes flickered with doubt, but her orders were absolute. You will both come with us. A transport field ignited around them. Eli tried to fight, but the light was too strong. Zynara reached out, her hand brushing his as they were pulled upward into the ship. Their fingers barely touched before the light swallowed everything. Moments later, the desert was empty again, only ashes and silence remaining. Above the clouds, inside the Varelian flagship, Zynara and Eli were separated into containment cells. Through the glass wall, their eyes met again. No words, just two souls bound by fate, trapped between worlds. And deep within the Varelian throne chamber, Queen Nylira stood watching their arrival through a holographic feed. Her voice was quiet, but her eyes burned with fury. So this is the human who captured my daughter's soul. She turned to her guards. Prepare the extraction chamber. If their bond threatens our empire, then I will tear it apart with my own hands. The royal palace of Varelia Prime stood like a temple carved from light and stone, suspended above a sea of glowing clouds. Its corridors hummed with ancient power, alive, breathing, watching. Within those walls, Eli Carter was dragged through steel doors by armored guards, his wrists bound with energy cuffs that burned faintly against his skin. The chamber they entered shimmered with gold and blue crystal. At its center sat Queen Nylira, tall and regal, her eyes sharp like blades. Behind her, holographic constellations of the galaxy rotated slowly, each star representing the reach of her empire. At her right, kneeling and trembling, was Princess Zynara, stripped of her crown, her crystal dim and flickering. When she saw Eli, her breath caught. Eli, silence! The Queen's voice cut through the air. Cold, commanding. You will speak only when I allow it. Eli stood firm despite the guards at his side. You're her mother? Delira's gaze shifted to him. I am her queen. Her mother died long ago. Her tone made the room feel colder. She rose from her throne, descending the marble steps slowly, her robes glimmering like molten silver. Human, she said, her words laced with contempt. You stand accused of corrupting the royal soul line. You are an abomination of nature. Eli clenched his jaw. I didn't choose this bond. Neither did she. It just happened. Nothing just happens in this universe. The Queen snapped. Every resonance, every life, every star follows order. But you're kind, chaotic, emotional, violent. You are the reason order crumbles. Zynara struggled to rise. Mother, please. The bond isn't corruption, it's connection. He feels what I feel, I see what he sees. It means our species were never meant to be enemies. Delira's hand flashed. A jolt of energy threw Zynara back to her knees. You shame your ancestors with that tongue. Eli's eyes burned. Don't touch her. The guards grabbed him instantly, but Nylira raised a hand. No, let him speak. He took a breath. You think control makes you powerful. But look at her. Your daughter's stronger than any soldier you have because she feels. She cares. That's not weakness. That's what makes her alive. A long silence followed. The queen stared at him with unreadable eyes. Then she gave a thin smile. You speak with courage. Foolish courage. Let us see if your words have truth. She turned toward the guards. Prepare the chamber. Eli was dragged to a raised platform in the center of the throne room. Sarai struggled against her bindings. No. Mother, please don't. He'll die. This is not execution, the queen said coolly. It is proof. Columns of light ignited around the human, forming a shimmering dome. Energy tendrils wrapped around his body, humming with alien frequency. This chamber reads soul harmonics, the lyra explained. If he truly shares your bond, the resonance will appear. If not, his body will disintegrate. Sarayna's heart pounded. You can't. Eli met her eyes across the chamber, breathing hard. Hey, he said softly, almost smiling. If it proves we're connected, it's worth it. The queen raised her hand, and the test began. The room trembled. Light pulsed through the floor as the crystal lattice scanned his essence. Eli screamed as his body glowed faintly blue, veins of light crawling up his neck. The energy twisted violently, searching for a match. Then, suddenly, Sarayna's crystal flared bright. A wave of warmth shot through the chamber, flooding every wall with radiant gold. The readings on the monitors spiked beyond capacity. The resonance was perfect. Guards stumbled back as an explosion of light filled the room. The queen shielded her eyes, her expression breaking into shock. When the light faded, Eli collapsed to his knees, gasping. His crystal and Sarayna's pulse in perfect rhythm. Two hearts beating as one. It's true, whispered one of the priests. The human soul has synchronized with royal blood. Sarayna rushed forward, wrapping her arms around him. Eli, he smiled weakly. Told you, I'd survive your mom's tests. But the queen's face had changed. Behind her fury now flickered something else, fear. Do you realize what this means? She whispered. If a human can link to the Varelian soul line, the prophecy could be real. Prophecy? Eli muttered. The lyra turned toward the grand mural above her throne, a depiction of a human-like figure standing beside a Varelian queen under twin suns. The old legend spoke of the bridge of flesh and light, two beings whose bond would unite distant worlds or destroy them. She looked back at Eli and her daughter, and now that prophecy is awakened. A distant alarm cut through the tension. A guard rushed in, panicked. Your Majesty, the human fleet has detected our energy bursts. They're mobilizing. The lyra's expression darkened. Then war is inevitable. Sarayna held Eli's hand tightly, her eyes full of fear. They'll come for you. For us. Eli stared at the queen. Then we stop it. Together. But the queen only whispered, We shall see, human. And as the throne room shook with the sound of distant war drums, the universe prepared for a battle neither species had ever faced before. The alarms of Varelia Prime wailed through the crystal corridors like a storm of sirens. The royal guard scrambled. Ships lifted from silver platforms, and the night sky above the capital burned with streaks of plasma. From orbit, the blue marble of Earth hung in the distance, silent, fragile, unaware that it was seconds away from war. Eli Carter stood beside Princess Sarayna in the heart of the throne hall. Around them, chaos reigned. Screens displayed images of approaching human ships, hundreds of them, breaking through Varelian space barriers. They're here for you, Sarayna whispered, voice shaking. Eli's throat tightened. They must have tracked the energy surge from the resonance test. My people think I'm being held hostage. The queen turned toward them, her expression carved in stone. Then they are correct. You are a hostage to your own existence. Eli stepped forward, defiant. I didn't come here to start a war. Yet you brought it with you, the lyra replied coldly. Your fleet's weapons are primitive, but their courage is dangerous. Outside, thunder echoed as the first human missile struck the Varelian orbital shield. The energy barrier shimmered, rippled, and cracked. The palace shook violently, sending shards of crystal raining down. Sarayna caught Eli's arm to steady him. Mother, please. Stop this before it destroys both worlds. The queen's gaze softened for a heartbeat, but then she turned to her generals. Prepare the ion cannons. If humanity seeks destruction, let them taste the wrath of Varelia. Eli felt rage boiling inside him. So this is your answer? Fear? You'd rather annihilate my entire species than admit one of us might be worthy of you. The queen's eyes flashed with pain and pride. You think worth is earned through chance? Through emotion? My people live by harmony, not chaos. Your kind are alive. Eli shouted. His voice echoed across the throne room. We make mistakes, we bleed, we love. That's not chaos. It's what gives life meaning. Serena looked at him, her heart pounding. Every word from him carried raw truth, something her people had long forgotten. Before the queen could reply, a guard rushed in. Your Majesty, the human flagship is hailing us. The queen hesitated, then nodded. The holographic feed blinked to life, revealing Admiral Juno Hale, commander of the Terran Expeditionary Fleet. Her face was hard, her tone even harder. This is Admiral Hale of Earth's Defense Command. You have 1 minute to release Eli Carter and stand down your weapons, or we'll make sure your empire doesn't see another sunrise. The queen's expression darkened. You dare threaten the throne of Varelia? Hale didn't flinch. You took one of ours. That's all I need. Serena stepped forward, her voice breaking through the tension. Wait. He's not your prisoner. He's my bond. Our lives are connected. If you attack, you'll kill him too. The Admiral's stern look faltered. Connected? What do you mean? Eli spoke up. It's true. A biological link. Kill her and I die. Kill me and her empire collapses. Silence. For a moment, even the hum of the palace power grid stopped. Queen Delira turned toward him sharply. You reveal your own weakness so easily. Eli met her gaze. Maybe it's not weakness. Maybe it's trust. Outside, plasma beams lit the sky as the first wave of Varelian interceptors clashed with human starfighters. Explosions painted the horizon in gold and red. The ground trembled. The palace lights flickered. Serena's hands shook as she reached for her mother. If you continue this, there will be nothing left to rule. The prophecy said the bridge would unite worlds, not destroy them. Maybe this bond, our bond, isn't a curse. Maybe it's the only thing that can stop this war. The queen stared at her daughter, torn between duty and blood. And if you're wrong, then I'll die trying to be right, Serena said softly. The queen closed her eyes for a moment, then spoke. Deactivate the cannons. I will speak to the humans. The generals hesitated. Your Majesty. Do it, she commanded. The warships outside began to slow, their weapons dimming. The human fleet hovered uncertainly, awaiting orders. Eli and Serena stepped forward to the holographic console. Admiral Hale. Eli said, This war ends now. They're standing down. So should we. The Admiral looked skeptical. How can we trust them? Serena took Eli's hand and pressed it against her crystal. The golden light from their bond illuminated both of them. Because he trusts me, and I trust him. The connection was pure, radiant, undeniable, across both fleets. Sensors registered the same frequency pulse that had once triggered the resonance test. It spread like a wave of energy across space, calm, uniting, harmonizing. Every soldier, human and Varelian, felt it. Fear began to fade, replaced by something deeper, understanding. Queen Thalira's eyes widened. The resonance is spreading. Eli turned to her. You can't stop it. This is what peace feels like. For the first time, the queen didn't argue. But far beyond the battlefield, something stirred in the dark edges of the galaxy, a force neither human nor Varelian had ever seen. The resonance had awakened something ancient, something watching. Serena felt a chill crawl up her spine. Eli, do you feel that? He nodded slowly. Yeah, like the universe just took a breath. The war had stopped, but a new danger was about to begin. The skies of Varelia Prime had fallen silent after the storm of war. The vast fleets that once glimmered with weapons now drifted in uneasy peace. Human and Varelian ships hung side by side, no longer enemies, but not yet allies. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. In the grand observatory of the royal palace, Eli Carter stood beside Princess Zynara, watching the horizon. Her golden eyes reflected the twin suns, while his gaze was fixed on the dark void beyond. Both could feel it. The strange pulse that had rippled to the stars after their bond had flared during the battle. It wasn't just resonance anymore. It was something else. Do you feel that vibration? Zynara whispered, clutching her crystal. It's alive. Eli nodded slowly. It's like the stars are whispering. Behind them, Queen Delira entered, her steps heavy but her voice softer than before. That pulse you both created, she said, it reached beyond our systems. It woke something buried in the void, a presence we believed only existed in myth. Zynara turned, uneasy. Myth! The Queen looked out the window, her expression distant. Long ago, before our empires and your species, there was a sentient network of energy, what our ancestors called the void mind. It connected every intelligent race through resonance. But when fear and war poisoned the galaxy, the network went dormant. The bridge of flesh and light, your bond, has reawakened it. Eli frowned. You're saying we woke up a galaxy-sized consciousness? Delira met his eyes. Yes, and it's coming. Moments later, alarms blared through the palace again. Massive readings appeared on the sensors, an energy field spreading faster than light, swallowing space itself. Both human and Varelian ships scrambled in confusion. The void mind had awakened, drawn to the twin frequencies of their bond. Zynara gripped Eli's arm. If it absorbs us, we'll lose ourselves. It's seeking balance. Eli's voice steadied. Then let's give it balance. The Queen's voice trembled. If you merge with it, you might not return. Eli turned to her, then to Zynara. We started this together. We finish it together. Zynara's eyes glistened. Whatever happens, we face it as one. They stepped onto the open platform of the observatory as the dark wave of light approached. Brighter than any star, deeper than any shadow. The resonance between them began to rise, their crystals pulsing in perfect unity. The air shimmered. The floor vibrated. Focus, Zynara whispered. Let it feel what we feel. Hope, not fear. Eli closed his eyes, his hand tightening around hers. He remembered Earth, the laughter of children, the sound of rain, the smell of forests. Zynara thought of her people, the music of the temples, the glow of the twin moons, the warmth of her mother's embrace long ago, their emotions intertwined, merging into one radiant pulse. The energy storm reached them, and instead of consuming, it embraced. Light burst outward from the palace, flooding the atmosphere, washing over both fleets. The void mind's voice echoed, not in words, but in feeling. It understood. Across the galaxy, war ceased. Weapons fell silent. The resonance rippled through countless worlds, connecting them once more in harmony. The bridge between species had been rebuilt. When the light faded, Eli and Zynara knelt together on the platform, their hands still joined. The storm was gone. The world was calm again. Queen Delira approached slowly, her eyes shining with something no one had seen in her for years. Tears. You did what I could not, she whispered. You reminded us that unity is not born of power, but of heart. Zynara smiled faintly. You always taught me strength, Mother. I just learned what kind. Delira touched her daughter's cheek, then looked at Eli. And you, human, I owe you my empire's survival. Eli shook his head. You don't owe me anything. Just promise me one thing. Don't let this connection fade again. The Queen nodded solemnly. Then so it shall be. The age of separation ends today. Outside, the human and Varelian fleets exchanged peaceful signals. For the first time in history, the two civilizations opened channels, not of war but of alliance. As the sun began to rise over Varelia Prime, Eli and Zynara stood on the balcony, watching dawn paint the sky. So, Eli said quietly, what happens now? Zynara smiled, her crystal glowing softly against his wrist. Now we build something new, a home for both our worlds. He chuckled. Guess that makes us ambassadors of the impossible. She leaned closer, resting her forehead against his. No, she whispered. It makes us proof that even across galaxies, souls can find each other. Their crystals pulse one final time, synchronized with the hum of a peaceful universe, no longer bound by fear, but united by love and destiny. And far above, where the stars whispered once more, the void mind drifted back into silence, watching, waiting, content at last that harmony had been restored. The end, thrown into chaos.